In today's episode, I'm going to share with you the 3 worst pieces of training advice for seasoned entrepreneurs and business owners. This follows on from my previous episode where I shared, for me, the 3 worst pieces of advice when it came to food. I'm now going to break down what I believe are the worst pieces of advice when it comes to training for the more experienced older entrepreneur and business owner who has a different set of challenges to those in their teens and 20s. As I've said many times before, what works in your 20s in terms of optimizing your training volume and quality and exercise selection, all these different things, doesn't work in your late 30s, 40s and 50s and 60s. There'll be similar principles, but the generic stuff that worked in your 20s doesn't work now. These are the 3 worst pieces of advice in my opinion. Number 1, lift 5 or 6 days a week. Being told you have to do this to get in shape is absolute nonsense. The people that I work with now not only want to look good, not only want to look strong and be strong and add muscle and prevent losing muscle, more importantly, as we age, which is so important in terms of our quality of movement. They also want to be fit. They want to be mobile. They want to be able to move. So if you are getting told or have been reading or have been watching content that is preaching you need to lift 5, 6 days a week, it's absolute nonsense. There's not one of my clientele that lift more than 4 days a week, yet they're getting better results than ever. The results of our clients now are better than when I was personal training people in my 20s, where, granted, I was advocating a bro split body routine, where you're doing a different muscle each day. It's totally inefficient and bad advice and lazy advice for the modern day entrepreneur, someone who has partner, family, team, clients, customers to think about. And every minute, every hour counts when it comes to trying to get return on investment of their time. What I would advocate instead of 5 or 6 days is halving that. Three sessions a week. Big fan of full bodies, I've said many times before. And that structured properly with different supersets and trisets, so you get more done in less time, would be significantly more efficient when it comes to creating the outcome that most people want, which is build strength, look great with muscle, and be fit, strong, and mobile. Number 2, use machines to build your body. Unless you want to be a sedated bodybuilder who just sits on machines, does a set, rest, then it's not helpful. The problem, and look, I was this coach in my younger days when all you're getting told to do, or like I was doing, was programming lots of machines because you're trying to add so much variety to someone's training program, is you're adding overwhelm and you're increasing the risk of a barrier when it comes to having an efficient workout. Every single gym is laid out differently. Every single gym has different equipment in different places. And every single gym has different customers who have favorite machines. And what you'll notice in most gyms, for the average gym goer, they have the same go-to machines, whether it's to do with their chest, their back, their legs. Problem with that, especially if you have someone who needs to train early or maybe after work when the gym is likely to be busy, the machines are going to be hogged, and it's going to put a barrier as to whether or not you can train, get through your sessions, complete all your sets, get more bang for your buck from your time, and it's going to frustrate you. So if you have a coach or a personal trainer who is programming machines on a continual basis, and that is causing friction, and it's affecting your motivation, and it's affecting your efficiency, then speak to your coach about changing that, because I really believe that it's not complicated to get in and staying in fantastic shape. You have movement patterns. You have push, you have pull, you have knee dominant movements as in squats and lunges, and you have hip hinge movements, Romanian deadlifts, glute bridges, etc. And you can have lateral movements, of course, too. It's not that complicated. This is why at the heartbeat of our training inside Built to Last, it's predominantly dumbbells and barbells. And of course, they do get told how to swap movement patterns for machines, but our clients can be a little bit time poor and they're trying to get the most from their time, whether they're training for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even up to an hour. Number 3, a really lazy piece of advice from even the biggest motivational gurus is just get it done, right? Granted, I may say that sometimes to some of my clients and call them out. You know, if I know deep down they're just believing their own bullshit, they haven't got time. And in that instance, I'd probably say, show me your calendar, because most people do have gaps if they actually break down their calendar. But if someone genuinely, and this might relate to you, if you have someone where on a week-to-week basis, you are really, really consciously trying to factor in a really efficient session, and some weeks your back's up against the wall with deadlines, family commitments, last-minute travel curveballs, someone just saying, just get it done is not helpful. What I think is way more helpful, and this is what we do with our clientele inside Built to Last, is guide them on how to adapt their session duration and volume. Basically the set frequency, or reorganize, the way they should do a particular workout. And what I advise, instead of just get it done, is look at the time you have available. And ask yourself, how can I maximize my workout today in relation to the time I have available? Whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The key is, how can you make sure that you remove distractions during that period and you can get the most output, get the most sets done with efficiency, with intent in that given time frame. And as we say to all of our clients, have a minimum non-negotiable set of standards when it comes to your training that you won't negotiate with. So for example, one thing we say to our clientele inside Built to Last, and this is where I probably would say just get it done, is have 3 20-minute workouts, full body minimum. I don't believe anyone, even on the most high-pressured week, doesn't have 3 20 minutes to do a workout, right? It should be a minimum non-negotiable standard if you want to meet your expectations of being strong, fit, in shape, and just as happy with your body as what you are with your bank balance in your career and other people's agendas that you're trying to fulfill. So just get it done, not helpful. A better way to look at that is, how can we find 3 20 minutes minimum within our week, and how can we make sure that we are being efficient in the time we have available? And that's that today, guys. So for me, they're the 3 wheels piece of training advice for a seasoned entrepreneur and business owner, or anyone really in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate your training. Think less but better beats doing nothing. And don't go into a session, or more importantly, don't leave a session knowing you couldn't have given more. Thank you so much for listening.